So I want to welcome everyone to tonight's class. In Australia, it's morning or midday. Thank you all for joining. It's a difficult time for a lot of people for various reasons. So hopefully we can use this next hour for some self-love and finding that inner peace that is always helpful when we're in stressful situations. So like I said, if you have, make sure you have a strap with you or something like a strap. It can be just a towel, but it's something that's going to go around your foot, and we're going to be stretching out our legs. So something long enough. And if you have blocks, just have a block with you and a blanket for covering yourself up if you get chilled when we do our Shavasana. So let's all just take a nice deep inhale and then let go with a sigh as we exhale. Nice deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Just take a couple more deep breaths. You can let your eyes gently close. Have your hands resting in your lap, on your knees, or if you're lying down by your sides. And just start to settle down into your base. So if you're lying down, that would be all along your back body. If you're sitting, your base will be your pelvis and hips. Just dropping down into your foundation and then dropping in, coming in from the outside world with all the stimulation, problems, concerns, worries, lists, and start to come inward. Coming in to find some quiet, some centeredness, and some peace. Letting go of our busy mind, and now begin to bring your attention to your breath. Inhaling calmness, exhaling relaxation. Scan your body and see if you're holding on or gripping sensation in any part of your body, whether it be your neck, shoulders. Let go of any tension in your belly. And bring your attention, your breath attention to those tight spaces. Inhaling and then releasing on the exhale. Unfurrow your brow, unlock your jaw, and relax your eyeballs into your eye sockets. Now we'll try and even go a little deeper with our breathing and taking ourselves from our busy sympathetic nervous system to our rest and relaxation, the parasympathetic nervous system. And we can do that by lengthening out the exhale. And one way to do that is to, on the exhale, to make a little circle with your lips and then blow like you're blowing through a very thin straw on the exhale. So instead of exhaling through your nose, you're going to be blowing through a very thin straw. And that in itself just starts to lengthen out the exhale. So take your breath, your inhale all the way down into your belly. And exhale through that thin straw. And do that about 5 more breaths. So inhaling and exhaling through the straw. On your own breath cycle and your own pace. And last one. And then you can just return to your normal breathing. Open your eyes. And we have Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday, Marianne, here in the US. So I thought I'd just read a little, just a little Thanksgiving poem to inspire us. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It turns problems into gifts, failures into success, the unexpected into perfect timing, and mistakes into important events. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. By Melody Beatty. So hopefully we can practice with our hearts full of gratitude, regardless of our challenges today. And throughout the practice, remain grounded and move through your feelings of unrest to a place of gratitude, of opening your heart and remaining open to the light and the love that abounds when we can let our guard down enough to see it. Okay. So with those words of inspiration, you can lie on your backs now. Feet, soles of the feet on the mat. And your feet are about hip distance apart, knees pointing up to the ceiling. You can have your arms slightly away from your body. Oh, actually, no, take your feet out to hip to your mat or mat distance wide. So that's wider than your hips. And we'll just start with some nice windshield wipers. So we're just going to begin slowly dropping our knees to one side and then inhaling back up to center, exhaling, letting the knees drop to the other side. And they don't need to come all the way to the ground. We're just beginning to warm up the hips and the spine here and the groin area. So just inhale as you bring the knees back to center and exhale as you release them over to the side. And as you continue to do this, let the weight of gravity take them further towards the earth. And picture the reeds at the beach just waving back and forth in the wind. Just a nice, slow and gentle. Next time you come to one side, just stay on that side for a little bit. Feel the opening of the whole of the upper side, the upper leg, the top leg, and across the groin, the hips. And then inhale and then go over to the other side and rest your knees over on the other side. Breathing across the body, across any tension, softening any areas. Inhale back to center. And now bring your knees back to hip distance apart. And you can bring your arms closer into your side and bring your knees all the way in towards your torso. Inhaling and exhaling, and then you can wrap your hands around your knees, and that will help to bring them even closer in towards your chest. And then inhale and bring your head up and tuck it up towards, curl it up towards your knees, into make yourself into a little ball. Take 2 breaths here. And then bring your head back down, gently back down onto the mat. Raise your arms up and over behind you. The backs of your hands flat on the mat, and then you can release one leg and lengthen that leg out onto the mat. Release the other leg down and lengthen it out onto the mat. Toes pointed up towards the ceiling, heels drawing towards the front of the room. Have a nice full body stretch here. All along the sides of up the sides of the legs, sides of the torso, up through the arms, all the way through to the fingertips. And now, take a moment here to bring your hands back to the side as you gather in your strap or whatever you're going to use. If you don't have one, I think you both will have a strap. You're going to just be, if you don't, you can use your hands. But we're going to find the middle of the strap or whatever it is you're using, the cord or the length of the towel. Bend your right knee in towards your torso and then just loop the strap around the ball of your right foot. Now slowly start to straighten that right knee and take your foot up towards the ceiling, the sole of your foot up towards the ceiling. We're not going to stretch quite yet. So really loosen your hands on the straps. Take your hands down towards the ends of the strap and then just start to circle your leg. Using the strap as a guide, you can do small circles or you can do big circles. Just going in one direction. Getting some movement in the hips. Bringing some blood flow down there. And then reverse and go the opposite direction. Just think of that, the top of the femur bone, the top of the thigh bone rotating in the socket joint. So it's a ball and socket joint. So the ball of the bone rotating in the 360, getting full range of movement here. And then you can come to still. Now take your hands, walk your hands a little way up the strap, and we're going to start to lengthen up the back of the right leg. So go slowly. You want those muscle fibers to slowly start to lengthen and release. Draw the heel of your right foot up towards the ceiling and have your left leg nice and solid as a solid foundation. Flat on the mat. And the left heel can also, toes can be pointed to up towards the ceiling, and the left heel drawing towards the front of the room. So breathe all the way down into your belly. And then with your exhale, soften and release any tightness up the back of your leg. Inhale and release with your exhale. You may even find that you're creating a little more space and you may be able to On your exhale, draw that right foot closer in towards your head. Feeling the lengthening all the way up the back of the leg, the right leg. 2 more nice deep breaths here. Even breathing as though the breath can go up the back of the leg and exhale down the back of the leg. We need more softness, more release. Okay, now you can hold your strap with your right hand, goes up to the foot. Take your left arm out along the mat, along the side of your body, and start to open up your right hip and right leg, right groin, right inner thigh as you take that right foot to the right side of the room. Just going as far as is comfortable. You don't want to overstretch your muscle, especially if it's not quite warmed up yet. But you can really feel the opening of the groin here, the opening of the inner thigh. Once again, inhaling. And when you come to resistance, exhale that area to release and soften. Try to keep your left hip heavy towards the mat, so you don't want that left hip coming up off the mat too much. The left leg is still that solid, firm foundation. And feeling all the tightness in the right thigh starting to soften and release. 2 more breaths here. And then you can slowly start to bring your right leg up towards the ceiling. This time, take your strap into your left hand and just take your right leg over, just not all the way over, just across midline. Across the midline of your body, and you'll feel that strong sensation in a different part of your leg. Once again, it's a whole different type of stretch. I feel it more in my calf. So just see where you might be feeling across the midline of your body. And now we're going to start to roll the right hip up off the mat and take that right foot all the way across the body towards the earth. So the left leg is going to rotate around to the left. And that right leg is coming over to the left side as you let that leg come all the way over. Your right arm is stretched out, giving you a bit of a counterbalance. You can even turn your head to look over to the right if you want a little more of a twist. Once again, using the breath to soften and release. Two more breaths here. Now bring that right leg back up to center. One more nice hamstring stretch, holding the strap in both legs. You might even have a little more flexibility now in that right leg. Draw the foot in towards your head if that's comfortable for you. And then you can bend your right knee, unwrap your strap and bring both legs to center. And just feel the difference, the liveliness of that right leg. The sensations, tingly sensations and feelings as you've lengthened out the right leg. We're going to repeat on the left side now. So loop the strap around your left ball of your left foot. And then slowly start to straighten that left leg and loosen your grip so that you have a nice long strap so that you can really start to rotate your left leg in one direction. As we bring movement to the joints, we're bringing blood flow, keeping the synovial fluid clean and rejuvenated. And then reverse. So you can do little circles or you can go all the way around, whatever is your preference. One more in that direction. Come to center. Walk your hands up the strap and then begin to draw that left heel up towards the ceiling, and just check that you're even across the sole of your foot. So from the little toe across the big toe, both are drawing up towards the ceiling, the same at the same intensity. So you've got a flat sole of your foot. Now feel all the stiffness in the left leg, and take your breath down into the lower belly, and as you exhale, find some softness in that tension or in that tightness in the leg. So all our attention is on our left, the back of our left hamstring, the back of the left thigh. You may feel it around the knees. So have a soft knee. You don't want to lock your knee in. Have a nice soft knee. And then take the breath down and take it up the leg. The inhale up the leg as though your breath can go all the way up the back of the left leg. And then exhale and soften. If you find you've got a little more space in that hamstring, you've found a little more length, you may be able to draw your left foot in a little bit closer in towards your head. Now take your strap into your left hand, reach your right arm out to the side as you begin to take your left leg over to the left side. Try to keep the right hip grounded. So if your right hip's coming all the way up, just take your leg up a little bit. Try to keep that right hip grounded as we have a nice inner thigh stretch here. Inner thigh stretch, groin stretch. And try to keep your shoulders as relaxed as possible. 2 more breaths here. And do a nice full exhale on your last exhale. And then bring your left leg up to center. Take your strap into your right hand, take your left arm out to the side, and then just take your lifted leg a little bit over center, just across the midline, and you're going to be hitting some other spots. You're going to feel some sensation in along the outside of the left leg here. Once again, using the breath to help to soften, release. And then we're going to start to roll that left hip up off the mat as we take the left leg over to the right side. The left arm is an anchor. And just let your leg go as far as is comfortable across your body in a nice twist, a spinal twist here. If you like, you can turn your head to look over to the left. Remember to breathe. And then bring that left leg up to center. Hold the strap with both hands and just lengthen out that hamstring muscle again, all the way up the back of the leg. And then you can release, bend your left knee, release your strap to your side, and lengthen out both legs on your mat. You can point and flex your toes, point your toes to the front of the room, and then flex your toes back towards your shins. And give them a little shake. Roll your hips a little, and then roll over to one side. Use your hands and your arms to help you back up to sitting. Fantastic. Okay, so now we can have different variations for this next series of poses. You can either sit cross-legged, if that's comfortable for you. If you have a block, well, actually, let's just sit cross-legged for the time being. For this next, you might want to put your feet out a little ways away from you if it's not comfortable. You can be sitting in a chair if sitting cross-legged is just not your thing. So roll over onto your left hip and then just take the fat from your right buttock and take it back, and then come onto your right sit bone. Then roll over onto your right hip and just draw that flesh of your left buttock back, and then roll over and then come back so you're sitting on your left sit bone. This is going to help to have a nice straight spine. So we're going to use the tailbone as like a tap root down into the earth, and we're going to extend and lengthen all the way up through the spine, up through the back of the head, the back of the skull, up through the crown of the head. Draw your shoulders, let your shoulders relax away from your ears. You can just rest your hands in your lap here. So take your right hand over to the right side, take your left arm palm face up, and then just start to take that arm all the way up to the sky, and then bend over to the right side. Feeling the stretch up the left side of the body, especially the left rib cage, the left side of the rib cage. Breathe into that left side rib cage, expanding, stretching out the little intercostal muscles that hold the ribs together. And then you can come back to center. Now take the palm of the hand down onto the mat, palm of the left hand down onto the mat as you turn your right palm up towards the ceiling. Stretch the left side, fingertips all the way up, and then start to take your body over to the left side. This time stretching out all the way along the right side torso. Once again, breathing into those right ribs, expanding the rib cage. And now you can come back to center. Now take your strap here and just hold it about shoulder distance apart. So it's not very far, your hands are not very far apart, but they're in front of you. Palms facing, knuckles facing towards the front of the room. And then just make that taut. So pull against the strap. Pull your hands away from each other, and then raise your arms up. As you inhale, bring your arms up beside your ears. Lengthen all the way up through the sides of your torso, and pull your arms away from each other, feeling the strength in your arms and shoulders, and then lower. And raise, inhaling. Exhale, lower. Inhale, raise. This time we're going to lengthen the strap out so our arms are diagonally facing out to the corners of the room. Just feel that strength all the way across your the back of your body. You're opening up your chest here. And then take as much strap as you need to take your arms back behind you and take your arms and hands down behind you. Inhale, bring them back up to the ceiling. And exhale, your arms come back down. Inhale, up. And one more time, take your arms back as your shoulder blades are coming in towards each other and your collarbones are widening. And then come up and all the way back and around. Okay, so now we're going to take, if you have a strap, I don't think you have, I've just noticed there, Maureen, I don't think you have one. Well, you can do this without a strap, but sorry, I should have given you more direction. I have really bad eyesight, so I just noticed you don't have a strap. But hold, if you don't, if you can have one or not, but take your right arm up towards the ceiling. If you have a strap, just hold it up behind you. And you're going to take your left arm around behind you and the back of your hand, you're going to bend your elbow. The back of your hand is going to slide up your back as far as it can. And if you have a strap, you can hold onto the back, the strap at the back here. Then the right elbow is going to bend. So bend your right elbow and keep it beside your head or beside your ear as much as possible. And so you're going to lengthen up the right side of the body all the way up the right arm to the shoulder, lengthening and then opening up that left shoulder. So the left shoulder is around behind you. And let me show you from behind where we're at. If you don't have a strap, your hands are just going to be coming up. And if your fingertips can reach, you can clasp your fingers behind you and get even more of a stretch there. Try to keep that right elbow in close to the right ear. And you'll feel that nice stretch up the right upper arm and across the left shoulder. And release. And then we'll do it on the other side. So left arm comes up beside the left ear, right arm swings around the back of the arm, finds the back. If you have a strap, holding the strap, the back, the tail of the strap, and then begin to bend the left elbow beside the ear. The left elbow comes down. You can be holding the strap, or you can try to clasp your fingers wherever they reach, wherever is your level of openness tonight. Keeping the left elbow in by the left ear, and the right shoulder is opening up the front of the right shoulder. Take 2 more breaths here. And then you can release. Give a little shake out. Now take your arms out to the side. Turn your palms facing to the front of the room. So arms are at shoulder height. Now bend your elbows into cactus arms so your hands are facing forward. And then take your hands back a little further back than your elbows. So the hands are going a little further back, so you're really opening up that front, your front chest here. Now take your arms up to the diagonal to the sides of the room, diagonal corners of the room, and then swing your arms down. Your right arm's going to go under your left elbow, and both hands are going to come up and give yourself a hug. You're going to go into eagle arms here. You can stay here if you like. As you inhale, or you can go, we're going to, first of all, inhale and really inhale into the space between, at your upper back. And find the space between your upper back. When you exhale, try to draw your shoulder blades away from each other, away from the spine. So inhale, find the space in the upper back. Exhale, draw your shoulder blades away from the spine. And then if your elbows are on top of each other, you can, if you'd like to go to the next level, you can start to bring your forearms together. Once again, feeling that space across the upper back, and then exhaling so the shoulder blades are moving away from each other. And if you like, you can start to interlace your hands so that the palms of the hands come in towards each other. Eagle arms. And just feeling that lovely stretch across that your back, across the back shoulders, shoulder blades. And then release. And wiggle your shoulders a little bit. Take a moment to find your center. Find that peaceful space inside you. And now we're going to take our arms back up to the diagonal. This time the left, we're going to swing so that the left arm is under the right arm. And give yourself a hug. If your hands can reach behind you, you can even give yourself a little massage, which I should have done on the other side. Whew. Feels good. Across the back of your shoulders. Now find that space in the upper back area. Making space, and then exhale as you draw the shoulder blades away from each other and away from the spine. 2 more breaths here. Now you can start to bring your forearms, palms, back of the hands towards each other. The elbows are on top of each other, if that is where they're at, or they're wherever they are. Another nice deep inhale and exhale. You can start to intertwine your hands so that the palms are now facing towards each other. Really stretching out that upper back. And then you can release. Now we'll uncross our legs and cross in the other direction. I'm going to do some neck movements here. So turn your head and just look so that you're looking as though you're looking under your right chin. So your nose is directed, under your right underarm. So your nose is looking down towards your right underarm. You're going to feel a nice stretch up the back side of your neck on the left side. So hold this for about 10 seconds with breathing into the left side of the neck. And now bring your chin back to center, and now take your right ear over to your right shoulder. The left shoulder is heavy, and then feel the stretch along the left side of the body, of the neck. So the right ear coming towards the right shoulder, keep that left shoulder heavy, and you can feel the lengthening along the left side of the neck. Hold this for about 10 seconds. Breathe into the sensation and release the tension. And you can raise your head back to center, and this time just look over your, turn your head and just to look over your right shoulder. Turn your head to the right to look over your right shoulder. And then you can take your chin up towards the ceiling and feel the stretch all the way up the left side of the front of your throat. And release back to center. Now we'll do it on the other side. So the right shoulder is heavy as we start to take our head to look over, to look under our left underarm. So the chin is coming down towards the left collarbone. The nose is directed towards the left underarm, and you feel a nice stretch up the back of the right side of the neck. Come back to center, and this time drop your right shoulder. So make your right shoulder, your right shoulder heavy as you start to take your left ear over to the left shoulder. So you're going to be stretching all up the right side of the neck. And then back to center, and then turn your head to look over your left shoulder as you twist the back of your neck, and then take your chin up towards the ceiling, and you can feel a nice stretch up the right side of the front of your throat. And then back to center. And then we'll do just a couple of half moons. So turn to look over your right shoulder. Chin is over your right shoulder. And then just start to drop the chin down towards your right collarbone, down towards your sternum. And then up the other side and look over your left shoulder. Have a nice big inhale here. And exhale as you start to drop the chin down, left collarbone, sternum, right collarbone, and look over your right shoulder. Do this one more time on each side. And then you can come to center. Now bring the soles of the feet together. They can be close in towards your groin or they can be further away, whatever's more comfortable for you. Once again, find those sit bones. So move the fat back on your butts and find sitting on your sit bones. Find that nice tap root from the tailbone all the way up through the crown of the head. Once again, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. And you can either hold your shins or your ankles. And what we're going to do, we're going to be coming forward into a forward bend, but it's not about how far you can come forward because we're going to be bending from the hips with a straight back. And I want to keep the distance from the top of the pubic bone to the sternum the same distance. So you're not going to be rounding the back. You're going to come forward with a straight back. You can use your hands to guide you, and even your elbows you can, and your forearms can rest against your shins as you start to come forward. Straight back, chest lifted, smile on your face. And then when you've come to your comfort level without coming, you don't want to force anything. When you feel like you've come as far forward as you can start to round your back and lower your head, the crown of your head down towards the mat. Let your shoulders relax over, cascade over. Close your eyes. Feel the lengthening and the stretching along the inner thighs. Across the back. Let the head dangle. The neck is relaxed. One more breath, one more nice deep inhale down into the belly. Exhale. And then you can begin to rise. Bring your left leg straight out in front of you and the sole of your right leg straight out in front of you, the sole of your left foot in your inner right thigh. And then you can take your hand onto the outside of your left leg. You know what, how do I want to do it? Oh, I take that back. Right hand comes over onto the left knee. Left hand swings around behind you as you find the earth behind you. And then just start to take your whole body around to the right side. The left side. Starting with the inner belly, the lower belly, lower back. And then you can pause, lengthen up through to the crown of the head. And then continue to twist around, upper back, shoulders. Pause, inhale and lengthen. Exhale, you can take your head to look over your left shoulder. And feel the spiral staircase of your spine from the tailbone all the way up through to the neck. And then start to unwind and come to center. Lengthen out the left foot, bring the sole of the right foot into the inner thigh of the left leg. So we want to lengthen first up from the tailbone up through the crown of the head. Have your toes pointed up towards the ceiling. Take the right hand around to find the earth behind you, fingertips, lengthening up. Left hand to the right knee. And then take a nice deep inhale. And exhale as you begin to twist from the lower belly lower back, twisting around to the right. Pause. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, continue the journey, the upper back, shoulders. Pause. And then inhale, you can take your head if it's comfortable and look over your right shoulder. Not only are you moving your outer body, your inner organs are also twisting or moving around to the right. And then you can come slowly unwind and come back to center. Boy, this class has gone so fast. We're not even going to get to standing, which is fine. Just take a moment here. You can come over onto your hands. Please come over onto your hands and knees. And I've often forgotten to say this, but if you have tender knees or sensitive knees, you can put a blanket and put your knees on a blanket. I actually have carpet under my mat, so I don't need it. But if you have a hard floor, and you might want a little more padding. So the hands are under the shoulders. The fingers are spread wide, and the crease of the wrists are parallel with the front of your mat. The knees are under the hips. They can even be a little bit back, about hip distance apart. The tops of the feet are flat on the mat. If that's not comfortable, you can curl your toes under. You want to lift up from your hands all the way up through your shoulders, so you have a nice firm foundation across your shoulders. And then draw your belly in towards your spine. Just start to tone the belly muscles so that you're protecting your lower back. Now take your right leg out, toes turned under, and just take that leg over across your body, across to the left side, and then look around your left shoulder at your right toes. Bring that knee back in to meet your right knee in to meet your left knee. Take the right foot out again, toes turned under, and lift your right leg up to about hip distance apart. Tone the lower belly to protect your lower back. You're going to press the shin, left shin into the mat, and raise. Start to bring your left arm out in front of you, stretched out in front of you. So you've lost your balance here. You're only on half and half, but there's right hand, left knee, left fingertips through to the right heel. And then bring the knee in and the hand in. Take the left foot out, toes turned under. Lift the left leg up to about hip distance apart. Ground that right shin and the left hand as you begin to raise the right arm up to about shoulder height. Stretch out all the way. Limbs are stretching away from each other. The lower belly is protected as you tone. The lower back is protected by the toned lower belly. Breathe, and then you can bring everything back to tabletop. We'll just do a couple of cat-cows, and then we're going to be heading into Shavasana. So beginning at the tailbone, initiating this move, start to drop the tailbone down towards the ground. As you start to round through the lower back, mid-back, upper back, finally releasing the crown of the head down towards the mat. in cat pose. Really draw all the spine, all the spine up towards the ceiling, so you're opening up a parachute. As we breathe here. And then we're going to reverse. And once again, initiating the move from the tailbone, so the sit bones start to draw up towards the ceiling. As you start to raise your chest, shoulders and head, lengthening up from the lower belly through to the sternum. The belly does drop down towards the mat in cow pose. Look out towards the horizon. Reverse, curling into cat as you exhale. And then rolling into cow as you inhale. And just do this lovely movement for your spine on your own breath, inhaling and exhaling. One more round. Come back to neutral spine. Come back on your heels. Take your hips back towards your heels. Stretch out in child's pose. Widen your knees so your belly falls between your knees. And I'm going to leave you. Normally I leave you in Shavasana. Well, maybe we better come out and do Shavasana. So come up. We've got to go the traditional way. Come up onto your buttocks and then going to roll over and lie down on your backs into Shavasana. Really let go. Let all your weight drop down into the earth. Spread your legs out. Let your feet splay out to the sides, arms away from your body. If you have a blanket, you can put it over you. A rolled up blanket can go under your knees if that's comfortable for your lower back. Get into the most comfortable position that you can find. Lengthen out the back of your neck by tucking your chin in a little bit. Close your eyes and let everything just fall into the earth. Feel like your body is melting like a stick of butter in a fry pan. Spreading out, letting go. Your breath is easy. Your top body falls into your bottom body and your back body falls into the earth. Shoulders are relaxed. And I want to thank you for joining me for this practice, and I hope that you found some comfort and some gratitude within this past hour, especially gratitude for your body and what it does for you. And thank you. I'm very happy that you were able to join. Stay there for as long as you like. Just rest and relax. Namaste.